Hello everyone. This is kind of a unique day. It's the Lionsgate portal. I know it's ending somewhat, the actual day. And I'm probably going to regret making this video because ultimately I don't have any makeup on really. Just worked out. Actually look pretty gross. But that's okay because I feel sometimes that when I'm intuitively called to deliver some type of message from the divine, I don't think you always have to look perfect, right? As long as the message comes out, it's authentic in nature. And I feel strongly that there are people across the world who maybe just need to hear this message, and I am just maybe the person to have to deliver that, no matter how hard it is. The Lionsgate portal, I got a lot of questions today. Like, what is it? How's it going to affect me? This is not going to relate to every person, but there are going to be people that this definitely will resonate with. So take it for what it is and have some compassion for me, because I'm not perfect today. I'm not beautiful. Sometimes that's okay. Just being yourself, right? In the moment, connecting with the divine and your own truth. And people don't like it, there are 1,000 other channels, right, you can tune into instead. The last couple weeks, it's been really interesting. I've had a lot of crazy dreams. A lot of people from the past, ironically, have been surfacing. People I remember, people I don't remember. Animals that have left me, family members who have since passed on. And when I was talking to my best friend this afternoon, she was also telling me that she's had some really weird dreams lately about people also from the past that have been hard to maybe fully interpret. Like, what is the purpose here, right, of this information coming to me in a dream state? A few days ago, if you had asked me what is the Lionsgate portal all about, I probably would have had a different answer for you. But after today, it's become very clear what the meaning of today is. For a lot of people, maybe only a small amount of people, hard to gauge fully who's going to impact, but for anyone who has been through trauma, specifically, I feel strongly that this is your day. What does that mean, right? If you have trauma from the past, you may find that surfacing for you now in really unusual ways. To remember the past, to accept the circumstances of your wounds, and a really deep soul level, to feel very deeply. And again, it's not always pleasant. That's the really crazy thing about this experience. So if you felt emotional, you felt just down like the last week or two, a lot of those people are going to probably be feeling some sense of release today. And while the past may have looked incredibly dark, I can assure you the divine is indicating to me that your future definitely looks very bright, which is something to look forward to. It's a renewal of hope to some capacity for the suffering you have endured. And you no longer have to carry those burdens with you any longer. For other people, I don't know if I want to say it's the other end of the spectrum, but if you have harmed others unintentionally, intentionally, or just having a hard time facing yourself, it's definitely a time of forgiveness. It's a time of acceptance and forgiveness. And understanding on a much deeper level what it means to truly self-destruct. Our past selves, who we used to be, who we are now, who we are in the future, doesn't always align with our own self-perspective. That's the crazy part. Sorry, I know my camera's shaking. I'm going to try to put this down here. Some people are going to get that message very, very clearly. Others are going to say, I don't know what the hell she's talking about, and that's cool too. On the complete other end of the spectrum, there are others that are going to see parts of themselves that they're not going to like at all being exposed for what it is. And sometimes, if you're a shaman, it's not always easy, because essentially you have to expose evil for what it is. Evil is a loose interpretation, I guess. It doesn't have to be like the devil. It doesn't have to be just like a murderer or anything, you know, like to that extreme. It could be. But exposing sin for what it is more so what I'm getting at. So sometimes we don't want to see parts of ourselves because it doesn't make us feel good. And when you face a shaman, often you are pulled to the depths of the underworld to have to look, finally, for what is. So if you meet or encounter a spiritual being, a divine being, somebody who just, you can feel their energy, it's a very powerful energy coming forth. You might not recognize it at first, but maybe in the future, near future, 6 months from now, a couple years from now, 20 years from now, you're going to look back and realize that all made sense in that moment. I just didn't see it clearly. What do all these archetypes, I guess, have in common with one another? That's what I've been trying to understand. What is a common thread here, I guess? What am I feeling? What am I getting in terms of intuitive downloads? How am I supposed to process that within myself and potentially deliver the messages from a divine place that is truly authentic in nature, genuine, not manipulated in any way, not forceful, not even from my place of unconditional love and support for everyone out there who is experiencing all of these different energies collectively as a human. This is truly like my divine gift to everyone today. So it's going to resonate with some people. Other people are going to say, I don't want to look at what you're telling me to see. Free will and fate. We don't always have the ability to understand what distinguishes one from the other. When you experience trauma, when you're a victim of trauma, often that free will component to choose, unfortunately, is taken away, and not always fair for the person experiencing it. For the one inflicting that on other people, they're also exuding levels of power and dominance and control in ways that it may not seem harmful to them, But I can assure you, to the divine, based on at least what was communicated to me, again, you don't have to believe it, but I have faith and trust in my intuition and what the divine is telling me, that the higher power is not happy with those people right now. In fact, I can assure you that whatever karmic retribution is meant to come back on those individuals, and as I was talking, I think the light's just dim right now, sign, it's going to come back. Because even if you're not a divine being, you're not religious, you're not spiritual, it doesn't matter. The soul has been wounded in one of the two individuals. One felt compelled to do it in a way that was not really in their right to do so. They don't hold that power against another human. To inflict harm, dominate, control, whatever, take away their rights, or take away their free will. To others that are harmed and are still healing, this is a time of healing, please know that you don't have to suffer anymore. That's what the divine wants you to know. You do not have to suffer, not even for one more day, for one more second. Every burden, hurt, pain, guilt, anguish, sadness, despair that you have carried for this lifetime and previous lifetimes before then, this is the day that it washes away. People are going to say, potentially, well, I still feel it after today. It's possible that could happen. I don't know what stage of healing you are currently at. But a lot of these things, weird instances, occurrences, people, signs, dreams, that numbers that you maybe haven't talked to in a really, really long time, thought about in a long time, engaged with in a long time, could be recent too. Those wounds are surfacing for a reason, and I do strongly feel that the divine wants you to heal. Allow them to come forth. If you feel like crying, cry. If you feel like being sad and down, just go with how you feel. Go with the energy flow. Allow, knowing that it's in your best interest to release whatever you have carried with you for so long, because it's just time to transmute it, forgive, and heal finally, because you're kind of coming back into your own power, so to speak. You're taking your power back. I don't know if that's going to make sense for everyone, but that's just what I heard in my ear, which is a powerful moment if you choose to step into your light. At the same time, the divine is also acknowledging that you don't have to hate, you don't have to harm, you don't have to hope or wish anything negative on the people who did take away your free will, your human dignity, your rights, did violate you, exploit you, lie to you, cheat from you, steal from you, whatever, inflict any type of harm, residual, PTSD, whatever, on you, without your ability to choose if you wanted to experience that or not, or engage in that experience altogether. You're taking your power back in this moment. If you can stand up in your own right, release all of these things with the knowledge that justice will be served in due time. We don't really carry that power. That's the That's the scary thing, I guess, about being human. Even if you're a divine being or a spiritual being, religious, whatever, spiritual path you follow, we don't hold that power. People try to hold that power, but it's not in our best interest to want to uphold that power, seek revenge, inflict harm back onto anyone. You can choose to do whatever you want. I can't tell you how to live your life and what to do, but it's in your best interest to forgive, because when you can come to peace, or a place of peace and acceptance for what has happened, you're not enabling or empowering those wounds energetically in your soul. You are literally transmuting the energy from your being in a way that is releasing everything to the divine and saying, I surrender, I trust, kind of, right? It's going to be taken care of. It's like the wheel of fortune goes round and round, right? Like a hamster wheel. Karmic destiny is going to be inflicted back onto people at the hands of the divine. You don't even have to do anything to want that or hope that or expect that, or even, again, attempt to do that as an individual looking to, get some type of retribution for what you have experienced as a human in the 3D realm. That's not to say that everyone is evil. That's also not meant to indicate that everyone's going to hell, or, everyone's going to wash away from an asteroid or be, hurt by a tsunami, like, in the Bible and whatnot, or whatever, just a huge wave. I don't know what's going to happen because I don't hold that power. But I can tell you that this is definitely a time, the Lion's Gate is a time of freedom. That's what I do feel strongly. If you can be the person to have courage to look at yourself in the mirror very deeply and almost come to a recognition that who you are today is potentially not who you were in the past. Could be. Not saying everyone's going to evolve or change or be a different person, but there are a lot of people who are going to have weird things maybe come about from the past that are going to force them to see things about themselves that they were, either they don't remember, they don't want to look at, they were previously unaware of. Now it's going to be front and center, and they're going to have to look at it whether they want to or not. That's part of this process of healing. Those people are going to be going through a much different experience than the people who are victims of these situations where free will has been taken away and things that have occurred are not fair and victimized, whatever the case may be. We're all victims at the end of the day, I guess, to some capacity, but I'm also not a victim, if that makes sense. It's more so acknowledging that those wounds exist within you. You're not defective by any means. No one's defective. However, you may feel it very strongly. Even if you feel like you're over these situations, there could be a couple unique situations that come about that are going to shock you, potentially. Maybe, again, you forgot about that experience altogether. And when it does surface, it's going to hit the heart chakra, forcing a lot of people to go through a massive spiritual awakening at this time, which is not always pleasant. And I feel strongly that this Lion's Gate is very positive for all these individuals, archetypes, labels that I'm putting on people, good, evil, whatever the case, for everyone, for the collective. It's a powerful moment of renewal, freedom, releasing burdens that we've carried for a very long time, and truly seeing clear, or clearly, for the first time in our lives. And could have a positive effect, could have a negative effect. It just depends on what are you willing to accept as fact. I guess the other thing that I did also want to say, and I'm not going to make this too long of a video because I know this is already going on for a while, but these are pretty important messages that I'm picking up on from the divine. I don't ever really do this. I mean, I don't have makeup on, so keep that in mind. Go easy on me, YouTube. Whoever is meant to hear the message, going to hear the message, but sometimes not always going to look pretty after you are working out and sweating for a couple hours beforehand. So bear with me. I'm very sorry for people who are out there who do not feel worthy of these beautiful gifts that I'm mentioning today. Some could say this is not a gift, this is a tower moment, right? My life is shattering. The world that I previously knew as reality is shaking underneath me. Or it's like a huge whatever. It's like a catalyst just exploding beneath your feet. Erupting like a volcano. That's probably a better analysis of the image that I'm getting in my mind. But it is like almost like an earthquake trembling under your feet. You can feel the power of the energies coming forth, and it is really messing a lot of people up right now, in small ways, in big ways. I think it's pretty much affecting people's sleep, their work. People are getting injured more, clumsy, they're forgetting things, it's affecting their ability to effectively communicate as well, or just think logically. How do I know all these things? I don't expect everyone to believe this. But for myself, I can tell you that there have been several things that have come about recently. One thing in particular today that, to be quite honest with you, I don't remember the situation at all. Well, I didn't remember it until someone told me it happened. And when they told me it happened, it took me a minute to recall the situation. And when I did, I came to the realization, I was like, wow, that was pretty horrible. I was ashamed. It forced me to look at who I used to be versus who I am now. And I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I completely forgot that's who I used to be. And some of my actions and choices, I didn't really have an answer for. It wasn't anything terrible. It just was not who I am now. And all these flashbacks and clairvoyance started to like pull me back to the moment, piecing it all together, being like, wow, I totally forgot that's who I used to be. Because I'm not proud of it, I guess. I'm not proud of it as in the same way that I am relative to who I am today, even though not everyone loves me in this moment either. But I know who I am, I don't need to apologize for that to anyone. I'm also not perfect today. But I have released my own burdens. I have accepted my own failures in the past, my own traumas, my own personal woundings I've inflicted on other people, either unintentionally, intentionally, that I'm truly not proud of. And I'm not making an excuse either that could be attributed to maturity, age, time, space, or just the fact that I didn't know any better. I'm just accepting that you can't change what happened. All you can do is accept what is. And that was very powerful for me. And instead of just running from it, saying, no, that wasn't me, that didn't happen, I don't believe it, why is this surfacing, that type of thing, and just kind of go to my safe place, I was humbled, truly. I apologized to that person and really, really meant it, because I was not okay with what had happened. Even though that person probably didn't even bother them at all, I was not okay with it. Had I known that in the moment, I would have never done something of that nature. But alcohol plays a part sometimes in people's decisions. Other people, it's drugs. Other people, it's sex. Others, it's candy. Whatever your vice is, whatever mass our decisions, could even be trauma too, We're just refusing to do the right thing because our decision-making ability isn't always sound in those moments, particularly when we're impaired, right? To a certain extent. So I guess what I wanted to say, just to wrap this up, is that starting tomorrow, it's a new day, a new cycle is starting. It's a time of renewal, new beginnings. It's like the wheel of fortune turning, right? Round and round, and your destiny can be changed in one instant. What does that mean for your future? I don't know, because I'm not living your life. I would encourage you to meditate. I would encourage you to cry if you feel the need to do that. What I would not suggest to do is to hold it inside any longer, because it's meant to be released through dream state, through feeling, intuition, people, numbers, past situations surfacing, right? It's like replaying a record over and over again from the past. It could be like a different person, but it seems very familiar. Like the same thing's going over and over and over again, except different time, different place. If you're aware to all these things, this is going to obviously help you, because you can, when they do service, you can transmute these energies, forgive, accept, and give yourself a hug, knowing that you did the best you could in those moments, at the times that you were facing these situations or people or things or whatever. And ultimately, sometimes it's not our fault, right? What is our fault is not facing the truth about who we are and running from that, pretending it didn't happen, making excuses, trying to believe a different storyline or narrative that we can't seem to process because it's just so not how we perceived ourselves to be. Instead of having compassion for ourselves, understanding that we're still human, right? We live in the 3D. Sometimes you can only do the best with what you have in the moment, the knowledge you have in the moment, the strength you have in the moment, your will to live in the moment. And it's not always easy to move forward ahead, believing that there's something to believe in, to have hope, that the future is going to be bright, particularly after you've been through trauma. If you can try, at least, or attempt to release the guilt, blame, sadness, emotions, or even just a higher understanding of the purpose behind this, which is healing for the future, so you can rise to a new potential and embrace the power that you have inside of you that is truly a miracle. It's a gift. This is a gift from the divine coming down. It's like, I always think of, like, you know, the tarot, where the hand is reaching down from the divine. At the moment when you just don't understand that something is happening, right, on a higher plane, or within a different parallel universe. I'm not really sure where it exists, but those energies are permeating somewhere, either around us right now, right next to me, could be above me, could be below me, but either way, they're all coming together, and they're very powerful. And if you're just not fully aware that it's happening, it can cause complete chaos in your life. It can cause you to make really horrible decisions. It can cause you to say maybe the wrong thing in the wrong moment. It can also cause you not to think, like a glitch in our ability to, like, what am I doing here right now in this moment? Taking into account that you're not the only person that exists, or maybe this situation might impact, and trying to see on a grander scale that there's more to this reality that exists than just you and you only. That's not to say, again, anyone's being selfish, but these are just things to be aware of as you're going through the next, like the last week, and then obviously moving into when the portal closes on the 12th, I believe. So I just want to have a moment to say that I am grateful for whatever experience I receive at this time. I'm just open to receiving. I'm not afraid. I'm not scared. I'm not sad. But I do have a lot of compassion for a lot of people right now who do feel that way, because it's okay to feel that way. Especially if you don't really have the answer. Maybe you don't even know, like, how do I move forward, right? Maybe you feel stuck, you feel burdened, you're overwhelmed. Maybe just know that the life you're living is not yours. Maybe you're also meant to discover that and move into a new beginning that is shattering the illusion that you have lived for a long time. And it truly awakens you to your greatest potential that you never could see previously. It's like lifting the veil, kind of, but it's also a time of healing. You're allowed to forgive yourself for your past failures, for anything that you feel just doesn't make you feel good. We don't always have to be perfect, but what we do have to do is to unconditionally love ourselves and nurture ourselves through these particular times, because it sounds stupid. The divine feminine energy, that's what it's all about. Nurturing, unconditional love, support, respect, connecting with nature, really feeling our emotions and the truth, understanding the truth, the divine knowing, the inner knowing that is like channeling down, right, from beyond, the divine information, like, coming down from beyond into our third eye, into our heart chakra, into all of our chakras, opening it up to a deeper sense of truth, reality, consciousness, awareness, not only externally, but within ourselves, that we have been previously subduing for whatever reason or another. We are all worthy of love. Love is all that exists inside of us. There's nothing that truly can take that away from anyone. Even death in its greatest scale, right? Truly transcends time and space. Because even though someone passes away, and I saw that on Facebook today, a family friend, a good friend of my brother's, someone close to them had passed. It was, it touched my heart because she was very young, full of life, spirit. Something about the connection this person experienced with that other person truly brought joy to their life in every possible way. Even if they didn't do much, just them being part of their existence was really beautiful. Even though it's incredibly sad to know he will be grieving that loss, and it is something that he can now no longer experience in this 3D realm. The love that he has for that individual, their energy, what the meaning and purpose and impact that individual had on the other person's life, even if it was just for a short time, was so profound. That can never be taken away from any of us, because you can still feel the love in your heart. So I encourage all of you, I'm going to cut this off, but I really encourage you to take a moment to reflect on these messages. This truly was a channeled message from the divine. I know I was kind of like looking all over the place, but it's hard to focus on the camera when I'm channeling. And I get sweaty. You can see I'm like sweating now. Not sure why that happens, but it's like really hard work to channel and talk on YouTube, because there's no manipulation here. This is truly a beautiful gift from the divine to whoever's listening to this message. And I know it's going to help a very select few. The other people are probably going to write it off and say this was not meaningful, a waste of time. And to another select few, it's going to truly open their eyes as to something that perhaps was hidden previously in the way it was supposed to in this moment, so they can potentially face reality finally and not run away and escape. I have so much love and compassion for everyone. I'm so grateful for everyone who has supported my channel. I don't care if I have 34 subscribers or 150,000. I'm just grateful to be living in this moment amongst all the people in the world who are willing to walk into the darkness knowing that they have nothing to fear for the future. I hope you check in with yourself and do some self-care the next few days and meditate. Like I said, go in nature, walk around. If you haven't spoke to somebody in a long time, family member, friend, could be somebody way from the past, could be somebody who passed away, you lost at one point, who was meaningful to you. I encourage you to reflect on that situation and come to a place of peace in your heart for all the people that you have lost. Be grateful for the things that you have gained since then. And try to come to some type of closure that this was destiny to occur in this time and place for every single person on the planet. The divine is not trying to harm anyone. However, the wrath of that energy, if someone chooses to harm people intentionally, I don't know what will happen to you. All I can say is I don't want to be around to find out. And I would highly advise against doing any of those things. But it's not on any other human's ability to have any type of judgment as to what you're going to receive. Karma, unfortunately, just the wheel does spin. If you're meant to get that back to you, it will come back, unfortunately. You can't prevent that no matter how hard you try and whatever. I'm going to be a better human to make up for this. I don't know why that is. I don't have that determination, but ultimately the point being, we all need to just come together and love, forgive, have faith, and accept that what has happened is over. Tomorrow's a new day. And if there's anyone who just does not truly feel as if they can grasp some of these higher concepts, again, it's not going to resonate with everybody, but there are a small group of people who I know are going to hear this and are going to say, that was a powerful message that I totally needed to hear. It helped me. I'm grateful for it. It gave me hope. It was uplifting. It was inspiring. Or maybe it just opened my eyes to something again that I was not able to face on my own. You're never alone. And it's okay to move forward in your life, understanding that if you can just face yourself for 5 minutes in the mirror, as vulnerable as you are, not judging, not criticizing, not expecting, not carrying any more burdens, and saying, I'm ready to move towards the future, release the past, and allow my best self to come forward. I do feel strongly that it's going to be one of the greatest miracles that you can experience in your life. And the divine is going to absolutely protect you moving forward. I have so much love for everyone. I hope you have a great rest of the week. Hang in there. Please don't judge me for not wearing makeup. Today, this was an important message, and I hope you feel lighter after this week, because I do have a lot of hope for everyone, everything, and love is the only thing that exists. All we have to do is just choose to live that way. I love you guys, and I hope you have a good rest of your week. All right, bye.